Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Mind, Your Reality, Your Results, a weekly live show where I speak with an expert in the subject of mindset so you can change your mindset and ultimately get the amazing results that you want in your life. If we haven't met before, my name's Leah Fink. I'm the owner and founder of All Thrive, and I help protect people from the pain of damaged relationships. If you ever want to chat about that, I would love to connect. But what you're really here for today, and who I'm so excited to welcome to the show, is Bert. Thanks so much for being here, Bert.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Before we get started, let's give Leah a celebration. Come on, everybody, celebrate her.
Well, thank you, Bert. Well, you guys are in for a huge treat today. Bert is one of my inspirational leaders, someone I really look up to, and a mentor. And you guys do not want to miss this chance to capitalize on his knowledge. I mean, you're a huge name. You're someone I would love to be like one day. So if you do have any questions, if you have any comments, please feel free to put those in the chat there in the comment bar. And even if you're watching this after the fact, you can still put those in there because we can get back to you with answers. So with that, let's jump right in. Bert, I love your story. Would you like to share a little bit about how you got to be the expert you are today?
Well, it started back in 1968. That's actually when I was born. But no, I came to the United States with my mother. She was fleeing the Cuban regime, and my father, who was communist at that time, or was communist, and then she came to the United States, brought me when I was 11 months old. And then I remember just her always telling me that anything I wanted to do in life was possible. So today we're going to talk about mindset. Well, this is what your show is all about. So a lot of people tell you, my story was really sad, but me coming to the United States, even though I never had a father, no grandparents, no brothers, no sister, my mom was my world. It was also the positive mindset that she instilled in me by always telling me everything is possible. I would say, Mom, I want to be a doctor. She'll go, Mijo, son, lo que tú quieras, whatever you want. And it's funny because I believed it. And that's why mindset is so important. So long story short, I ended up working for Xerox Corporation, a copier company. They had major training up in Leesburg, Virginia, where you weren't allowed to leave while you were in training. So I got turned on to some of these great speakers back in the day, like Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown. And I said, one day I'm going to do this. And the first thing that comes into your mind when you say that is how. And you got to remember, the how is none of your business. You got to dream big and you got to go out and do it. So I've been doing it for over 27 years. And, when I first started, there was only two markets, Anglo whites and Black Americans. So you had your Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, and then you had your Les Brown, T.D. Jakes. There wasn't that many Latino speakers in the industry. And that's when I said it was a perfect opportunity for me to get into the business. And 27 years later, I've shared the stage. There, a lot of those mentors have become my personal friend. And a lot of them, before they even passed, I was able to spend some time with them. So, mindset is extremely important in order for you to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve in your life. I truly believe that.
I completely agree with you, which is why this show exists. And I really love that you highlight this idea that people can get very caught up in the how, because it is the first question people ask you when you want to achieve anything, right? You have a big dream.
The worst thing is when you ask yourself that question, forget about what people are saying. We're going to get into that later. Is when you tell yourself, well, how am I going to do it? The how is none of your business. Give it a try. Go out there and get it done. So it's not so much about other people. Our biggest enemy is really ourselves. We can blame someone else. We can blame our significant other, our parents, or our best friend, or our siblings. At the end of the day, it's really up to you. The reason that most people are not living their dream or whatever it is they want to do in their life, a lot of it has to do with themselves. They don't have a strong mindset or a strong belief system with themselves, let alone with other people not believing in your dream. That's always going to happen, at the end of the day. Because if you're not dreaming big enough, if people don't tell you you're crazy, because I truly believe crazy people succeed. Yeah. If you look at history, everyone has been called crazy, for the most part, has been successful. So if someone tells you, Leah, you know what, you're dreaming too big, you're crazy. That's awesome. That means that I'm dreaming big enough that I'm making enough noise for people to notice. You don't want to dream just like for someone that makes $50,000. You just don't want to say, "Well, I want to make 100,000." No, make $1 million. The how is none of your business. You just got to get started. You got to dream big, and people don't dream big enough. Again, all tied into the mindset, because the belief system, the way depending on how we grew up, who our mentors were, whether they were our parents or a sports person or whatever the case is. And at the end of the day, you need to start believing in yourself. Anything that you do is possible. My mom told me, and my mama told me it has to be real, but it's the truth, and that's what you need. But you have to start with you. As you start building your successes, other people will start jumping in and saying, "You know what, Leah, I knew you can do it. You had it in you all along." It's just the beginning part that people are even afraid of seeing you succeed, or they don't want you to go through the struggle that they probably went through when they gave up their dream,
Well, that leads us really nicely into what we're talking about today, because I fully agree with you. No one else can make your mindset for you. That is on you. It is all your head. And saying there's this huge influence of the people we surround ourselves with. There's a lot of parents that unfortunately weren't like your mom and said, "Well, that's a stupid dream, get to work on your school," or whatever they suggested. So what we're talking about today is those people, that choice that you have about who you surround yourself with. And do you want to start by just kind of telling us what a power partner is, what that means to you?
Yeah, but let me add something to that. My mom was positive when I was growing up. But then once I started making it, and I would come out in these TV shows and everything, and she would be like amazed. I was international shows because I do it in Spanish and English. And some of these are some of the people that she used to look up to. When I would get off the show, she would ask my wife, Alexa, "You sure he knows what he's doing?" So at the end of the day, I'm not saying that she was perfect. All I'm saying is that when I was growing up, she gave me positive affirmations. But later on, people have doubt, at the end of the day. So, talking about power partners. Power partners is a group of like-minded individuals. Our mission is to support and collaborate with one another. And we are able to promote and help each other in different ways. That is so important to have a group like that. Now, I would love everyone to be a part of power partners. But for the most part, go out and look for your power partners. Look for people that can help you in your dream. People that maybe have done it, or people that just believe in you. So when you're having a down day, you can pick up the phone call and call these people, and it's a positive call, the positive reassurance that you needed. Sometimes all we need is someone to tell you, "You know what, Leah, don't give up. You know what, Leah, I love the last show you did. I've been watching your shows for 3 months." That's all we need to hear at times. Right about when you're about to give up, all you need is that reinforcement. But what happens is, like I said, there's a quote that says, "Love your family, choose your friends." You're not going to change your family, but that's a whole different story. Eventually you will, by showing them success, right? But at first they're concerned. And a lot of times we confuse that concern for they don't want me to do it. They just don't want you to fail. So what happens is you come up with an idea. They'll say, "Leah, that's great, but you should get a real job. Leah, this is awesome. And you're interviewing these people, but are you getting paid? How much money you're making?" This is usually what we hear. So it's okay, like I said, love your family, but choose the people that really can help you move forward. And you're not going to get that one mentor or coach that's going to help you with everything. You're going to have that one mentor that's going to help you with finances. You may have another mentor that helps you speak, perform better on your platforms. You might have another mentor that might help you with a relationship, right? Or maybe, and like I said, I've said this before, my opinion, there's a difference between a mentor and a coach. A coach is someone that knows how to tap into your potential and knows how to help you to tap into your potential. Some of the greatest coaches in sports have never played the game. So to me, when you look at a coach, look at the results that they've done with other people. Don't look at their track record in the sense of, well, they've never played the sport before. That's okay. That's why you have mentors. Mentors are the people that are actually playing the game and living through what it is they're doing or they've done. So choose your mentors, choose your coaches, create a group of power partners that you can reach out to. And if you only have one, that's fine. One is better than none. And then you can build up to 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is why we created Power Partners, which is the group that I was talking about, where and you're a part of it. And I love it because right now they'll support your show. They'll go ahead and give you advice. They'll tell you, for other people that may be doing the show, they'll tell you, you know what I've done that's worked for me, and that's what it's all about, is really supporting each other, giving us new ideas. We meet once a week, and we just dive into different topics. Sometimes it could be how to improve your social media. Another topic can be how to do a proposal. Or is your proposal good enough? We also, there's a bunch of stuff. But at the end of the day, you need to create a circle of people that believe in your dream, or that at least believe in you. And that's really important. And a lot of times we don't have that.
I'm 1,000,000% in agreement with you. Community for people from a mental health perspective, from everything, is hugely critical. And one of the metaphors I love, which I think plays on this really well, is someone introduced to me is this idea of you have basement friends, you have couch friends, and you have balcony friends. And your basement friends are the ones who are not in a good place, and they're just going to keep pulling you down. They're the ones telling you your dream's no good, it's too big. They just want to yank you down to that basement. Yeah. Your couch friends are your comfort people. You're going to sit there and you're going to stay at the same level. You don't need to grow. You don't need to push anything. And then your balcony friends are the ones that are pulling you up. And to me, that's really what Power Partners is a group of people saying, hey, let's all pick each other up, get to that next step. And I've absolutely loved being part of it.
I love that analogy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But coach friends are not bad, though. You got to hang out every now and then.
You don't want all your friendships to be like conversations about how to improve all the time. You do want that relaxing. Yeah.
That's important.
So when you're looking for your Power Partners, because not everyone's going to be able to join your group. I mean, it's an amazing group, but the reality is a lot of our viewers, we can't have thousands of people joining right now. As you're looking for Power Partners in your life, you want people that support your dream. Are there other things you should look for or avoid when you're trying to make that group?
No, look for. Go and look for. Don't be afraid. Like, for example, we met at a speaker boot camp, and we gave them the tips and tools to ask for, testimonials. You're the only one that pulled me to the side and asked for a testimonial. That's what you need to do. You need to take action. So a lot of times you reach out to the people that you look up to and say, hey, look, I would like to go ahead and call you when I have ideas and so forth. The worst thing they can tell you is no. But a lot of times when you ask people for help, not for a favor, because subconsciously when you ask for a favor, they expect something in return. But if you ask for help, you'd be surprised how many people are willing to help you. And the first thing I would do is look at my database, look at my phone, the people that I have on my phone, and maybe someone that I haven't spoken to in 5 years, and maybe reach out to them and say, you know what, I haven't spoken to you in 5 years. I just launched this new company. I'm doing shows and everything, and you came top of mind, and I would like to have a direct contact with you. Is there any way we can meet once a week? What's the worst thing they say? No? What about if they say yes? You'd be surprised. A lot of those Power Partners that you create, the circle of influence that you create, a lot of times you motivate them. I've been doing this for 27 years. I have an amazing lifestyle, but I get motivated every week when I get together with my Power Partners, just seeing their successes, seeing them. And sometimes you've seen me, we change our mission statement that we've had for like over 16 years because you found that we were missing one word in our mission statement. That's growth. That's being open to grow. And that wouldn't have happened if you weren't part of the Power Partners. That's why it's important to have a group like that. Not only that they're going to help you, but they can actually learn from you too. So it's important. And the bigger you get, there's a saying that says, it's lonely at the top, but at least you arrive in style. But at the end of the day, you're still lonely. It doesn't have to be that way. The reason that most millionaires and billionaires or very successful people don't mentor more people is because no one asks them to mentor them. Everyone is afraid. The dumbest question is the one you don't ask. So I love that your approach. Maybe it's because you're Canadian. I don't know, because you were really nice. But your approach to just, you learn something and you apply it. You learn something, you apply it. And then that's the only way you're going to grow. I truly believe that. You're going to grow. And then after the third or fourth time, if it doesn't work, then you figure something else out. But if it's working, you keep applying it. and apply it faster. And that's one of the things that most people don't want to do. They'll get one person they can call, and then maybe two, and then that's enough. Why? Get 3, get 4. When you go to an event, you go to a party, you go to someone that really piques your interest, and there's something you can learn from that person. Ask them, look, I have a group that I talk to. I'm not talking about our group. I'm saying I have a list of people that I look up to and work with. Is it okay that I can put you on that list? They'll say, sure. Maybe they're really busy and they'll say, you can only call me once a month. But imagine having access to that person once a month. That's all you need to do. That's not all, but that's one of the major things that you can do to speed up, fast track your success.
Yeah. Well, that's so important. And one of the things I'm wondering, because of course it's easy to say all of this, and if we could just say it and everyone would take it in, the world would be perfect. Everyone would be living their dreams right away.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have a job.
And we wouldn't have a job. Yeah. Exactly. And I do think, though, like, especially something I love about Power Partners, and I'm not hesitant to ask for, which I think has served me well, is this idea of I'm there because I want that feedback. I want that learning. I want you to call me on my stuff if I'm slacking, not applying things. And I know that can be a huge fear for people. It can be a barrier of, well, I don't want to reach out to Bert because he seems really confident. If he tells me that I'm not doing something good, it's going to crush my soul. It's going to be horrible. Do you have any suggestions for people to help them embrace that and enjoy it?
Yeah, no, just if you're not embracing that, you're not growing. If you were perfect, or if I was perfect, then there's no room for growth. You have to learn all the time. And a lot of times those people are like, they lie to themselves, right? Oh, I had a standing ovation, and they recorded the whole thing, and they're like, let me see the recording. Only 2 people stood up. But in their mind, they saw a standing ovation, right? Yeah. Stop lying to yourself. You need experts in your life. You need people to tell you tell you the truth. Even if it's something that you don't want to hear, like, for example, you can have a person give you their opinion, and that's okay. And it may hurt. Maybe this person is really mean and they give you the negative opinion all the time. But when you get that same type of opinion from someone that doesn't know that person, maybe you should check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? You say, wait a minute, they don't know each other. They're in 2 parts of the world, and they're telling me the same thing. Maybe it's something I need to work on. And that's what I'm saying. So don't take one person's opinion at 1,000% or 110%. Take it and kind of just let it sit in and see if you get the same opinion from other people. Because, for most speakers that get on a platform, because everyone seems to be a speaker today, when you get off that stage, a huge amount of people are going to come up to you and tell you were great, even though you weren't great. Because you're actually doing something that most people fear, speaking to an audience. The number 1 fear in the world is public speaking. Number 2 is death. People prefer to die than to speak in public. So when you get off that stage, they're going to tell you you're great, and it gets to your head. If you're great, then there's no room for improvement. You have to always think, I tell people all the time, the day you think you've learned everything, you've lost everything. You have to look for growth at every single moment of the day. And there's something that you can learn. Sometimes confirmation is better than learning something new. There's a lot of times that you've learned through confirmation. You know what? I used to do that a year ago or 5 years ago, and I stopped doing it. I'm going to start doing it again because it worked for me. It got me to where I'm at today. So, at the end of the day, you can't change people, but you're not going to grow until you let go of that fear of having people give you constructive criticism. Not criticism, constructive. If someone is going to give you constructive criticism, it's because they're doing it. They're not just telling you what you should do and they haven't done it. And that's criticism, right? So at the end of the day, look for that constructive criticism. To this day, I've been doing it for over 27 years. My team, every time I get off a platform, will tell me, I'll tell them, what do you think I did? Hardly ever do I do a 10. They're like, you did an 8. You did a 6. Maybe you did a 7 and it went up to 8. You turned on here. And I'm like, okay. And I'm noticing that. I want to grow. And every time, my 8 today may not be the same 8 I did 10 years ago, but it's still an 8. They're realistic. This is how we grow. So the same feedback we give to our power partners is the same feedback my team gives to me. And that's how I've always grown. And you have to be okay with that. Look, it's not easy to be successful. If you're that sensitive, then success is not for you. You have to be, you have to have a thick skin. You have to be ready to take the punches. The ones that fall down and get back up are the ones that make it. Those that fall down and take a break till they feel better, time goes by way too fast. They won't succeed. So just get a thick skin. If you want to succeed in whatever it is you want to do, you have to work hard, play hard, and at the end of the day, have a thick skin. Because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
That's so true. And I 1,000,000% agree with you. Feedback is an investment in a relationship. It's a gift. So taking it as someone cared enough to tell you this, or they wouldn't have bothered if it didn't matter to them. So I completely agree with that. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are on when you do get toxic people in your life. Because it's great if you have people that are giving you that constructive piece, even people that are maybe not quite as constructive, but you're able to take that learning from it. When people get to that point of toxic, or just it gets much harder if you have people who are constantly dragging you down. What would you suggest in that situation?
I create space, right? I love people. At the end of the day, I love people, and I create some space. Like, for example, I have a few friends of mine that I love them, but they're toxic when it comes to certain topics, and I don't agree with the way they look at maybe finances or politics or whatever. So I love them for who they are, and I enjoy those moments. But I separate myself. I don't set myself up for failure to call that person when things are happening, like in the States right now with finances. Things are kind of tough over here. So I'm not going to call them because I know what I'm going to get. It's not something I want to hear. So why set yourself up? Know what they bring to your life, and then take what they bring to your life and give back. But when you know what they bring that you don't enjoy, then avoid those things and give yourself some space. Sometimes giving yourself space, and also, back to the finding those power partners in your life. Back to that, finding those people that you have a reason to call. You go ahead and now have a group of people that you call once a week or whatever the case is. That itself will give you space. See, one form of depression comes from not having anything to do. If you have something to do, it's harder for that form of depression to kick in. So it's the same thing. If you only have these negative people to call, you're always going to fall into that same negative mindset. But if you have other people you can reach out to, then you start balancing it out. And eventually you start having a positive mindset because you're surrounding yourself with positive people. Now, I want you to understand one thing. I'm not asking people to go look for positive people only. You want to find people that are realistic also. Because just having a bunch of positive people and everybody's like, everything is perfect, is not perfect. So you want to find that balance, whatever that balance is for you.
Yeah. One of the things I love too, when we were talking before the show here, you mentioned also bringing people into your life that have kind of lived your goals, right? You don't want to hang out, not in a mean way, but don't hang out with a bunch of broke business owners if you want to be a really successful business owner, right? Reaching out for those people too that inspire you in some way.
Yeah, I mean, some of my mentors, Ilanka is one of my mentors, Omar Perry, Les Brown, and they're personal friends of mine. So I have them in Quick Dial, right? And one of them made $100 million. And I was like, I want to know how to make $100 million, right? So we became so close that they taught me how to earn more money and do more things with my finances. There's other things that they teach that doesn't fall in what I want to learn, but I love them for that one thing of knowledge that I can get from them as a mentor. Omar Perry, taught me how to create events. So I love him for that. Even though he's great at finances, it's not the type of finances I was looking for. That's why I have the other person. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to have one person teach you everything. It's okay if that's all you have right now. But eventually you want people to fill different spots in your life, different sections of your life, because we have different things. You can even have a person that's just for fun. That person brings fun into your life. It's like, look, even movies have conditioned us, right? There was a movie that everybody saw called The Titanic, right? So when the movie starts, I'm going to break it down really quick, just to give you the mindset that they're doing in movies. The Titanic, a love story, beautiful love story. Guy goes in, he can't get a ticket. So what does he have to do? He has to gamble to get a ticket. What is that telling you? That poor people don't have money. Rich guy just pays a ticket and walks in. They're going out and they have a formal dinner. And the formal dinner is kind of boring, very stuffy. On the bottom of the ship, they're gambling, they're drinking, they're partying. Poor people party, gamble. It's crazy, but this is what the story's saying. At the end of the movie, and I'm speeding it up, the rich guy doesn't care about people. I got to get on the boat first. I'm out. The poor guy says, let me save you. I'm going to give my life to save you. Oh, poor people give their life for others, right? At the end of the movie, she's standing next to her grandmother with this thing that looks the size of my head. This is a sapphire, or the big sapphire. And she looks at it and says, money is evil. And she tosses it to the fishes, right? So you want to be positive, you want to grow, but even movies are being sold to create a negative mindset. Most songs are negative. If you listen to the lyrics, they're all about breaking up, hardship, all these things. So, we're getting all this information of negativity. We need to filter in the positive energy and the positive information. And that's one of the reasons we created Power Partners, because not saying this, we have issues. That in our group, people have issues. Life happens. One of our Power Partners, their wife has been sick for like a week, and we're all giving prayers for those that like to give prayers, or positive energy for those that like to give positive energy. But we all have a realistic life. But at least you have, at the end of the day, a group of positive people to support your dream. But, we got to be careful. Movies, TV stations, social media, a lot of negativity is coming in. If you do something negative, it'll go viral faster than if you do something positive. And it's sad, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah. Our brain has a negativity bias, and it takes effort. It takes the good people around you. It takes that mindset, that strength. Oliver has just joined in, one of our Power Partners, to say facts. It's all true. He knows it's all true.
By the way, Oliver is in one of her shows, so you need to go and watch it. Larry is in one of her shows. You need to go and watch it. And if you want to know their last names, go to her YouTube and look Larry and Oliver, because there's only two. And then you get an idea who's the Power Partners. But it's easy. It's easy to say I have a positive mindset, but do you really have a positive mindset? Do you really work on it? You have to work on it. People work on their bicep. People work on their chest muscles. People work on their physique, because people can see that immediately. You know what they can't see? Your mindset. And that's something you need to put just as much or even more effort than what the work on your body, for people that say, oh, you're in great shape. Because it takes a strong mindset to create a nice body anyways. You got to be consistent. You have to work out. You have to know how to eat. There's a bunch of different variables. So mindset should be the first thing you work on. Everything else follows. Once you have a strong mindset, not just positive, but a strong mindset, that's usually the people that really succeed. People that don't give up. People give up way too soon. And part of them giving up is having a weak mindset. That's why I love your show. Your show is always about mindset. And people are like, well, how much can you talk about mindset? Well, there's so many ways to look at mindset, right? And that's why it's important to watch the shows that you're putting out there. And if you like anything that you hear here today or in one of the other shows, watch it again. You need more of that positive information coming in. And if you find someone that you've been telling them all these things, but they haven't been listening, share the show with them, because sometimes they have to hear it from someone else. So, help. You got to, help other people in order for your world to become positive. It's not a one-way, lane. You have to go ahead and support other people's dreams. Support Leah. Support my dream, right? And at the end of the day, your dream will flourish also.
This is amazing. I want to reiterate one of your points before we close up here. The same thing you're saying about mindset and it being the same as physical exercise. We got to do the work. That is actually the same way our mental health works. This is one of my passions I want people to think about as well, is you put this time in for your mindset, for your mental health, whatever you want to call that, but putting in that effort to understand what really drives you, to say positive things to yourself, to believe in your dreams, is huge, huge resilience factors for any sort of mental illness and struggle that way. So just, if people hear one thing, if I can just reinforce how important this stuff is. And with that, Bert, if they want to connect with you, if they want to know more about Power Partners, it's pretty easy.
Real simple. Meetbert.com. Once you go there, you can follow me on your preferred social media. You can find out about Power Partners there also. And it's very simple. I made it very simple. If not, you can look up my name, Bert Oliva, on Google, and you can find me there also. We've been doing this for a long time. And hopefully I'll be able to come back to the show, and we'll have maybe some sort of a panel. I don't know. But Leah, thank you so much. I had a great time. I'm going to leave your people one quick message. You got to start believing in yourself. One of the things that Leah said, and I love that she just finished saying, is telling yourself positive messages. You have to start with you. You want the world to accept you. You want to be successful. You want to be heard. Well, you got to start with you. You're your biggest fan or your biggest enemy because you don't listen to yourselves. Yeah. So you start listening to yourself, start expanding. Your dreams are nearer than you think they are once you start working towards them. So I'm going to leave you with my quote. My quote, the quote I live by, is live life, don't let life live you. My name is Bert Oliva, Cuban born, American made.
Amazing. Well, thank you so, so much for being here, Bert. It's been absolutely inspiring. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next week.
Thank you, Leah.